Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe YouTube channel for round 17, the final round of Season 7 in Division 3. My name is Aidan Carter, otherwise known as Carmentis. I'll be taking you through proceedings here as per usual in Division 3, and joining me for the final time this season after what's been an amazing season in D3, commentating alongside her, is Jess. Jess, how are you doing this evening?
I'm absolutely pumped for this. Three drivers still in the hunt to win the championship tonight, and that is Recuric, Tope, and Luke. And literally any one of those drivers could win it. Luke pretty much needs a miracle in order for him to win the title, but it's so close between Recuric and Tope. One small mistake will put them out of the running, so looking forward to it. And Abu Dhabi has hosted many title deciders before, so I think this will be a classic.
Yeah, definitely looking like it could be a classic, like you say. Let's run you quickly through the drivers' standings coming into this round, what it actually looks like. It is Recuric in the lead of the championship then by 3 points over Tope after a second-place finish last time out at Brazil for Recuric. Tope had many a setback in the previous race, but managed to pick up a 6th place and a fastest lap to at least keep himself in the running. Luke, like you said, is still in the running, but he is 16 points off the championship lead, so he at least needs to finish in second place in this race, and he needs Recuric and Tope to have bad races to stand a chance at this championship. RJ is now 4th in the championship, ahead of Brent in 5th. They are locked in a battle for that 4th position. There is 17 points between them at the moment, and then it's very close in the battle for 6th in the standings. CPI Bunty picking up his 2nd win of the season last time out. He is level on points going into this race with the Dowry in 6th and 7th. Rex just 3 points further back in 8th, and then it's Camk and Old School with a fight for 9th and the final spot in the top 10 in 10th in Old School's favour, in Old School's case at the moment. And yeah, going into this final round of the season then, like you said, championship is really, really close at the front of the field. Recuric and Tope have been up and down in the lead of the championship and then down to the likes of 3rd and 4th in the championship throughout the points of this season. But you've got to say, out of the two, Recuric and Tope, they have been the most consistent drivers all season long, haven't they? They've barely ever put a foot wrong.
Yes, and it shows they've been consistent in the races as well, and they scored the most race points. If you haven't seen the stream of the power rankings, they did well in the power rankings as well, so it shows that they are the best drivers in D3 without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously Tope being the more consistent in terms of quali and the race, whereas Recuric seems to be more of a race performer, but to be honest, qualifying is not where you score points, so that's all that really matters for Recuric, so it won't bother too much if he doesn't have a good qualifying. But Abu Dhabi is not one of the easiest tracks to overtake, so he needs to really outperform Tope here tonight as well. But there could be people that could spoil the party as well. Of course, we've got Passe in tonight in for Miami. He's actually allowed to score points for Aston Martin in the Constructors. I do believe Aston Martin, well, the Constructors battle is still on the horizon as well, so we could have a double win from Luke, potentially. That would be a miracle, but at least Luke may have a chance of winning something with the Constructors, but at least he has someone there to help him out there, and we're passing in his second race. Let's hope his rust has gone away.
Yeah, fingers crossed, potentially it's hopefully gone away for him. He didn't have the best of runs last time out in Brazil, his first round back. That was because of a lot of side pod damage from an incident that happened before they even got to turn 1, which is just sums up really what was a great return, unfortunately, last time out for Passe. But speaking of the here and now then, we are at the Abu Dhabi circuit. Of course, this is the old layout. We have seen the updated layout run at the end of 2021, but unfortunately that was not put into the 2021 Formula 1 game, so we are still running with the layout we've used since 2009, I believe. And yeah, it's a fairly difficult track, isn't it? We're going to be talking about a lot of different things tonight. It's hard on tyres. It's really, really hard to focus and get a perfect lap around this track because the curbs are so brutal. And it's very easy to pick up warnings here as well, isn't it? So there's a lot for these drivers to think about when it comes to this track.
And there's also a lot of things to think about in terms of strategy, because it's one of those tracks where two-stop could be even more fast. We said that about the likes of Canada, but people pretty much did the one-stop there. I think we had a mixed bag. I remember some people trying the one-stop, people doing the two-stop as well. I think we'll probably see the same today as well, and people will be taking some risks in order to perform well in either the drivers or the constructors. Because even though they may be out the fight, there's still points to be settled elsewhere in the championship. Because I know a lot of people are going to be pretty much in the top 10 as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. Quite a mixed bag, actually, of drivers on tyres at the moment. A lot of people on the soft tyres were quite evenly spread on the mediums as well. And the interesting fact about Abu Dhabi, just like Bahrain, it hardly ever rains here at this part of the world. There's an oddity, like 1% chance that it could rain, but I've never been in a lobby where it's rained in Abu Dhabi in dynamic weather, so And with these drivers on mediums, I assume that we're not going to have the oddity of rain today. So I think most people have practiced pretty much for the drive, but you've got to be prepared. J-Luke, for the last race this season, has gone on mediums, and he's spun a little bit, and he's got disqualified as well. So, yeah, he'll be starting from last place unless someone else gets disqualified too. So that's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, but unfortunate for J-Luke. We're just riding on board with Charlie. He's the first person on a lap at the moment in the Ferrari then, so we'll ride with him through the final sector of this lap. Of course, the final sector, by far the longest sector on this track, and the sector of the track with the most corners then, as he heads into this triple chicane, which is no longer a thing, which I think a lot of people are very happy about. RJ has retired in the pit lane by the looks of things. He doesn't want to do a lap in this qualifying session then, as through this final sector we go with Charlie as he heads through the kinks of 15 and 16 into turn 17. This corner has been widened in the new version, along with the next two corners as well, the next three corners actually, and Charlie getting a little bit sideways coming out of that corner, maybe clipped the curb on the inside just a little bit too much, bit of understeer there as well through turn number 19, through 20, which is pretty much flat out on the new version of this circuit, and into the final corner, which remains unchanged when we drive this circuit later on in the year. And Charlie crosses the line. It's a 36 flat on the medium compound tyre. The delta here is about 6 to 7 tenths of a second between the mediums and the softs, because the softs do tend to get fairly hot by the end of their quali run. So we will be seeing drivers like Bunty and Rex who have done 35.3s on their mediums, possibly dipping into the mid 34s in this qualifying session. Then Chill crosses the line, but his time not fully representative of the pace that he can perform at this evening. Old School will be next to cross the line. He's the next person on a set of soft compound tyres in this lobby as well, so he heads round turn 21, the final corner of the lap. Doesn't use all of the exit of the road, only goes P3 on a 35.6, goes behind the two medium runners at the start of the session. Rekurik also on the mediums, but a tenth and a half off the provisional pole time of Bunty. And we'll be speaking a lot tonight of our Championship 3. We've got to put a word together, though, for Bunty, haven't we? Bunty joined this championship fairly late into the season. He's not had a full season so far. He's not actually been a full-time driver for the majority of the season, as until, well, very recently. But as of recently, he's done an incredible job, hasn't he, Bunty? He's been so fast. Ever since, really, he got that fourth place finish in Bahrain, he's been an incredibly strong performer this season.
Yeah, I think there's been races where he's been inconsistent and not scoring many points, but the last few rounds he's been exceptional as well. And he was pretty much still in the fight, believe it or not, even though he joined not pretty much late into the season, until I think the third to last round as well, which shows how far he has come as well. And we did ask the drivers on what their highlights were this season, and to be honest, I agree with what he said in his highlight. His highlight was Brazil, and to be honest, he pulled off a stellar performance in Brazil, and I think because he improved on this racecraft as well in that race, so it showed how far he's come there. But his low this season, because we asked him as well, was Silverstone in his home Grand Prix and another DNF. I think he had a string of DNFs, didn't he, throughout the course of the season, so it's nice to see him come so far, as we've got Passe at the moment on a flying lap right now on the soft compound tyres. I believe he was on the mediums earlier as well. One of two drivers yet to set a lap time that is still in the session, and the other of which is our championship contender, currently second in the championship, Tope. So he invalidated his first run and he's gone into the pits. He was hoping to do his first lap on the mediums. He's on the back foot compared to everybody else, so it is advantage for Rekurik at the moment. And we obviously go through the permutations as we go on as well. If Rekurik wins this race, then Rekurik is champion. That is without a shadow of doubt as well. But obviously, if Tope wins, Rekurik would have to finish a certain amount of places to win the title. So we'll keep you informed there as well. Passe, purple sector 2. This lap's looking very, very good so far. Sector 3 chicane just there at the start looks pretty good as well. So we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, we'll see what Passe can do. Like I say, we're going to ride around with him through this final sector. I think the good thing about the championship permutations between Rick and Tope is that if either one of them wins, they're champion. That is one of the great things about how close it is in this championship standings. If Tope wins, the gap in points between first and second is too big for Rekurik to be able to win this championship if he doesn't win this, if Tope wins. So that is one thing we'll be looking at for tonight. I think it's fair to say that Tope and Rekurik will very likely be in the running for the win tonight. Passe then round the final corner, and he goes up into fourth position on that soft compound tyre, but crucially still the top two both on the medium. So Bunty and Rex with their fastest time on the medium compound tyre, looking very strong so far in this session. Whitewire is the first soft runner ahead of Passe, and then it's back onto the mediums for Rekurik. So at the moment, at least, you can tell the people that are on the medium compound tyres are the ones that are feeling a lot more confident in this quali trim, especially considering the delta between the two tyres. you're going to say that the likes of White and Passe are going to drop about 7 or 8 tenths, the likes of Bunty and Rex, when they go for their first ones on the softs, if they go for their first ones on the softs.
Yeah, it does give him a confidence, like you say as well, because if you're on the mediums, you're more than likely going to be doing a 2 soft stint towards the end. There is a mixture strategy. You could go soft, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium if there's no safety car as well. I'm a bit shocked that a lot of people went for the mediums, actually, because I thought the soft, medium, medium would be better, but I'm not the strategist around it. But as Cam is going into the pits, I think as well, Tobe has just come out on his first run and on the softs, and he's going to go on his outlap at the moment. Anyone else on the lap? No, it's just everyone on outlap at the moment. A few people out of position, I would say, is FRL Charlie. Now, Charlie has made an impression since he joined the league. He joined, I think, in Russia, I believe, with his teammate Power as well, and he's done an excellent job considering as well where he's come from as well. So it'll be nice to see him full-time properly next season. We'll see how a full season can go at this moment in time. He's 15th in the standings, scoring 30 points already compared to some of the drivers that have been there since the start, like obviously Jay Lou and Marty and Noah J as well. So he's pulled off an interesting feat at the moment, as he's in P11th at the moment. Still got a lot of work to do, but you know, he's got nothing to lose in this race. If he has another consistent result, then he'll probably be up there, beating the drivers that have been there for ages.
Yeah, exactly like you say. It's been very good since he's joined. 2 fourth-place finishes are his best performances so far this season. They were picked up at China and Brazil. So, yeah, he's definitely made an impression, like you say. We're going to ride with Tope, though. Second place in the championship, of course. He's going for his first run on this soft compound tyre. He did go out on a set of mediums, but he invalidated the first run, and then coming on to the second lap, immediately invalidated again. So that's why he's not got a time on the board. Then Tope through this first sector, shortest sector on the track. There's not really much to it, except for in the race when you go through turn 3, your hot tyres can make you spin there. So that is going to be one thing these drivers are going to have to look out for in this race as he flies through the chicane. And behind him on the road, I think that might have been potentially Rex behind him on the road. Yeah, it was Rex behind him on the road, absolutely obliterating one of the bollards at the chicane. But I think that's not going to be the first or the last time we see that tonight, as Tope down the back straight then, first of the 2 DRS zones around this track. And unlike Mexico, we do have 2 detection points for the 2 DRS zones that follow after a chicane. So that is nice to see. It makes it very easy for people to repass someone if they've been passed down the first straight. Tope then coming down that second straight now. This one is a little bit shorter, keeps it to the left-hand side of the road for the shortest one up towards the triple chicane. And the second sector is a 57.5, so it's a pretty competitive sector so far from Tope. As it stands, this should put him onto provisional pole, depending, of course, on what other drivers do. He's got the 2 Alfa Romeos in front of him on the road. Chill is on a lap. Bunty is just coming to start one of his runs now then, as Tope through this final sector then, as he heads into turn number 17. Keep it off the curbs on the inside. You can touch the red and white, but the second you hit that sausage curb, you are going to get flung offline through turn 19. One thing to keep an eye on as well, chat limits this evening. There's a lot of corners that we'll be looking at chat limits for tonight, and these are a couple of them. The final corner will be one of them as well. Across the line goes Chill. He's gone P5 in the Alfa Romeo. Tope crosses the line, and it's provisional pole by a country mile, 34.7. He is on provisional pole by just over 0.6 of a second. Rekurik, his championship rivals, follows behind, but is 0.2 of a second, nearly 0.3 of a second slower than Tope after his first one on the soft compound tyres. But we know Rekurik is a lot stronger in the races. His teammate Hawaii has just gone into P3 as Bunty has started his first lap, but is immediately off the pace in the first sector, so he's backed off on this run. So yeah, great lap there from Tope. He obviously didn't get the first one in he would have wanted, but it's a really strong start, and crucially for him, comfortably ahead of Rekurik in the timing sheets.
Yeah, and that's what he wants to at the moment, because the point gap is so big between first and second place. We've got Old School, who's coming up to a line now, 10th at the moment. Can he go higher than 10th? Yes, he can. P6. We've got our championship contender of Luke up to the line. He only crossed the line in P4 though, so he's got a lot of work to do to catch up to his nearest championship rival. And then I believe we got the other Williams driver of RRT Derry. They are, I believe, in the running for the constructors as well. 134.4 now. I think Tope wouldn't mind of Derry being in P1. It's a Williams 1-2 right now, which is just like they were at the start of the season, except the other way around. And Derry, I feel like, has been the inconsistent one of the two compared to Tope, but Derry sometimes has been there to pick up the pieces when Tope has not been scoring well, which is great to see, which shows well in the constructors. Brent came across the line in P4 on the medium. Was he on the medium? Yeah, the medium compound tyre. I have to say, that is a solid lap compared to quite a few people on the soft, so that's pretty decent. Imagine what he's going to be on the soft compound tyre, so it's great to see. Cam's on a lap as well. I think we got more people on laps, actually, in front of him, or are they on in-laps? They're probably on in-laps, actually. So we'll follow on board we can. Also on the medium tyres as well. If we could get into the 135s on a set of mediums, then that will be a solid lap for him. A driver that does not do as well in qualifying, but does considerably well in the race and scores consistent points. He does not improve, so he will probably go into the pits after that as well. Charlie has invalidated his outlap. Let's hope he doesn't invalidate towards the end, because otherwise it will invalidate his next run as well. So let's see. Yeah, he's fine. So he's on another run now as well. He's 14th at the moment. We'll see if he can climb higher. Passay's on a run as well, just about to go into the start of Sector 3 too. But no one can match the two Williams drivers at the moment. But we've got Recurry and YHYY and Brent not that far behind. So we could see an intense finale. And I think the teammates of the championship contenders, they've got to play wingman tonight. They've got to be like a Sergio Perez from Abu Dhabi last year.
Yeah, they really have, like you say, and yeah, like you mentioned as well, I don't think Tote will be too worried that it's Darry in front of him on the road. I think if he needs to be, then Tote will swap positions with Darry in the race if that comes to terms, and then Tote can win the championship in that way. But yeah, brilliant time on the board though for Darry to be 3/10 clear of his teammate, who's again nearly 3/10 clear of the next driver. So that is a really strong run from Darry, and we've seen this a couple of times this season from Darry, where there'll be certain tracks where all of a sudden Darry pops up and shows incredible pace. Australia and Imola are the two that stand out as tracks. Of course, he won in Australia and finished second in Imola. He had a great start to the season there as well. And this is another track that has harsh curbs and is very brutal on track limits and can catch drivers out if you make a mistake. So not surprising that Darry is enjoying this track. It just seems to suit his style at the moment. We're running with Charlie. He's coming through the final sector now. He is on his next lap, his first lap actually, on the soft compound tyres. Of course, his first one we ran on board with when he was on the medium compound tyres. He heads through turn number 19, nearly hits the wall on the exit of the corner, but just about gets away with it, through turn 20, and cuts too much of the curb on the inside, and that is his time invalidated, and immediately he is back into the pit lane. And we're seeing a lot of drivers struggling with track limits this evening, and so far at least we've not properly seen representative times from everybody yet, but qualifying tonight is very spread out compared to what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, I think most races we've seen this season, qualifying has been super close, but to be honest, not many people race around Abu Dhabi on this game due to the fact that the layout is not pretty much updated to what it is in real life. So that's probably why most leagues do not do Abu Dhabi. I think LOE, along quite a few others, are the only leagues to put Abu Dhabi on the calendar. And it's a track suit mainly for wheel users, in my opinion, as well, due to the amount of curbs that they have around the track and the tyre wear as well. It could kill the people on the pad as well. So I think if they're on the wheel, they're going to have a huge advantage tonight, as Tope is going to be the first driver to set one of his first laps, final laps of the session. He's going extremely early, which I'm quite surprised about as well, but maybe he's doing something where he wants to put the pressure on the other drivers, or maybe he's got enough fuel to do 2 runs and blow the competition out of the water. But to be honest, he is going to be the one that's at disadvantage compared to Recurrick, because Recurrick, the points are quite, it's not as huge as we would have expected, but, you know, Tope obviously scoring less than Recurrick at this stage of the season, but Tope being a more consistent driver, I don't know which way it's going to go, but I think Tope will pull it out of the bag somehow. Rex is also on the lap right now. I think he's just ahead of Tope, actually, going through the second sector as well. Rex, I have to say, has been a driver who has been, well, he's had some bad races and he's had some good races. There's nothing in between, to be honest. And I think there's one race I remember where he did really well in Hungary, I believe. He's really good in terms of strategy, I think, in changeable conditions, and he likes the wet as well. I think he's probably gutted that there's no rain here tonight as well. There's quite a few traffic going in the first sector, but we've got Rex then. He's coming towards the hotel section, which is very, very nice indeed, with the lights coming and going below the Fanatec sign on the top. And we almost hit a few people invalidate there as well, as I've done a few times in practice for tonight's race. He's going to come across the final corner then, as he does. Is he going to be enough to get into the top 10? He stays in 8th position. 3/10 quicker, though, than his previous best. What about Tope? He's got to try and beat his teammate. He's only a few 100s up on his previous best, so... But wow, he still goes quicker. That was an amazing final sector. He was almost 4/10 quicker in the final sector there. So if he didn't mess up in the first few sectors, that would have been a stellar lap, almost the 133s. But that is a time to beat. I wonder if Recurrick can beat that. I wonder if he saw that and think, wow, I got a lot of work to do.
Definitely, that is the potential. We might have a lot of work to do. Like you say, Rex, unfortunate that his time was that slow, really, isn't it? As Darry's actually had a spin through turn number 3, so Darry's not going to be improving on this run. He's dropped the car at the start of his lap. That is his quali over and done with. So Darry, the best he can hope for is second place. But the fact that he is half a second clear of the next car maybe means that he's not going to be under that much threat. Brent is doing his first run on the soft compound tyres as well in this session, so he's going to be definitely one to keep an eye on towards the end of this session. Rekurik, 0.08 of a second up on his personal best in the first sector, and then through the second sector we'll see what he can do. But of course, most of the time on this track is found in the last part. What can Rekurik do for the middle sector time as he heads down the back straight and in towards the sector split at the very end at the start? Yeah, Luke crossing the line then in the Aston Martin. What can he do? He's only a 10th up at the moment. Crosses the line. Stays 7th. Can't find any more time. Stays 7th on the grid. He's on the back foot then in this race. We've got a long old run down through this final sector. Rekurik was a 10th up by the end of the second sector, but as that stands, that's not going to get him anywhere near the two Williams that are holding out the front row at the moment. Rekurik through this final sector, nice and neat and tidy, not taking too much curb, trying to carry as much momentum as possible through these corners as he heads into turn number 20, lobs it over the curb on the inside, and it sticks nicely for him through the final corner. What can Rekurik do? Can he challenge the Williams? Not quite. It's a good final sector. It's a 34.6, but he's still 2/10 off Darry. Stays third on the grid, though. What can Brent do? Brent is 0.3 of a second up through the second sector, and of course he did that run on the medium. So what can he find in the final part of the lap in this Alpha Tower? We've got more people coming to the line. I think Passe will be next across the line in the Aston Martin. He comes around the final corner. Where can he put that car? Stays 10th, retires on the spot, and Brent across the line splits the Williams. Splits the Williams. Couldn't quite get pole position, but it's a good lap from Brent across the line. Yeah, Camke's gone P5. That's a good lap. Bunty, same time as Brent, but manages to get on the front row on his first run on the soft compound tyres. Across the line comes, I believe that was Old School that's gone P8 in the McLaren. Chill's gone into 9th position. That is it for qualifying. Everybody has set their times in this session. It is Taupe on pole position, and crucially for Taupe, there are 3 other cars between himself and his closest championship rival in Rekurik, who can only manage 5th.
It helps that his teammate is in between the championship rivals, isn't it, for Taupe? So I think this is the ideal scenario for him as well, and he doesn't have to worry about rain as well. So I think that's always good news for him. Now, I'm a bit surprised that Bunty's gone ahead of Brent with the same time, because it's usually the first person to set that lap time that goes ahead. So I wonder if it's by the 1,000th, maybe. He was about 1,000th quicker, I don't know, or a few to the next decimal point that you can't possibly see as well. Yeah, I am a bit surprised that Brent didn't go ahead of Bunty, but that's probably the game mechanics, not me. But yes, Cam getting his best qualifying result of the season, I believe, with Rex not that far behind as well. Obviously, Old School had a good qualifying, so did Chill. YY only in 10th as well, so we'll see how it goes in the race.
Yeah, there's so running through the full grid order. Then it's Taupe on pole position from Bunty, Brent, Darry and Rekurik, your top 5. Then it's Camke in 6th, Rex 7th, Old School 8th, Chill 9th, YY rounding off the top 10. First person, crucially, on the alternate strategy is Luke, so he's going to be one to look out for. Then it's Maverick, Passe, Charlie, and then RJ and J-Luke make up the final row of the grid. Neither of them setting times in the session. 6 drivers we've got to keep an eye out for. They'll be on alternate strategies. And crucially, like I mentioned, Luke is the lead of those on that alternate strategy. And while he maybe doesn't have the raw pace, it seems, of Rekurik and Taupe in qualifying, strategy-wise, that puts him in a very good position.
Yeah, that's perfect for Luke, to be honest, because he's the man who likes to go on the alternate strategy. I think there's some other people in this division that like to go for the alternate strategy as well. Bit surprised that Cam didn't go for the alternate strategy today, but to be honest, it's the final race. He wants to go for glory, to be honest, and probably quite a few people think that the softs is probably the best starting tire. I expect to see a lot of people going for the softs, but we could see a few people going on the mediums to start with as well, and that is a bit of a risk in LOE, because we do know, even on reduced safety cars, we still get safety cars in Abu Dhabi, probably one of the most common on the calendar. Hungary, I think we've got quite a few as well in the changeable conditions. So it should be interesting as well. I do see a few medium tyres in some of the garages right now, so I think a few people will be opting for the medium tyres just to get it out of the way. Maybe they want to do 2 soft stints, maybe they want to do 2 medium stints, but again, it does depend on if they get any safety cars or not. So we are about to start with the formation lap, and who has opted for what outside the top 10? Everyone's gone for mediums outside the top 10, so no one wanting to go and start on the softs, then they're gambling for no safety cars during the first half of the race. But again, it won't matter too much. Will we see people go for the one stop, do you reckon?
I think it's definitely potential. I think if they can keep speed in the tyres, it can definitely work. I think it's dependent on whether we get safety cars, like you mentioned. If we get a load of safety cars, then the one stop's really not all that worth it. Of course, you need fresher tyres at a safety car restart. If we don't get any safety cars, the one stop is definitely possible around this track. It just depends how you deal with the traffic in the early part of the race and whether you've got any speed and clean air when everybody pits. So that is going to be one thing we've got to keep an eye out on. These soft compound tyres, they're very, very fast for the first 2-3 laps of the race, but from lap 4 onwards, they do start to deteriorate, and there are a lot of corners that you don't think about usually in qualifying that become very, very difficult in the race. Turn 3, like I mentioned earlier on, is one of those, so that is going to be a corner these drivers are going to have to look out for at some point in this race. In terms of strategy, though, like you mentioned, one stop is possible. Two stops probably more likely. We'll probably see more people go for the two-stop strategy. But if you're one of those in the championship fight right now, what do you do? Do you go for the two-stop and follow everybody else and try and win on more speed? Or do you do the one-stop and try something different?
I think we've seen in Canada people taking quite a lot of risks. So I think we will see people that have got nothing to lose, like to chill. YHYY, I think Charlie, RJ, I think they would want to go for the risk and try and do it in the one stop, see if it works. If it does, then fair play. If it doesn't, well, at least they tried it and had nothing to lose at this moment in time. But if you are a championship contender, you pretty much got to stick what you know and do the opposite to what your championship rival does as well to get that advantage. But it is Toad that will be leading the field away as he's very keen to get started. You all have cold tyres. So Bunty alongside him in the front row. I don't know who gets the better getaway in these starts in Abu Dhabi. Is it the left side or is it the right side? But we do know in Abu Dhabi last year, Lewis Hamilton had the better start and he was on the left-hand side, I believe. So watch out for Bunty in turn 1 because he's going to have I think he's on the racing line, I believe, as well. So he's going to get a good run into turn 1. Brent as well, he's got the slipstream. Darry as well, watch out for those two in the second row. But J-Luke, he's going to be the last man to take to his grid slot and then we can get going.
Yeah, we can get going for the final round of Season 7 Division 3. It's been an up and down season for a lot of drivers, but the top 3 in the championship have had all stellar seasons. Who is going to win out in this championship tonight? It's the last race of the season. Tope is on pole position. Lights held for a very long time, but we are underway for this race, and it's a brilliant start from Tope. Darry as well in the other Williams has had an amazing start off the grid. Tope comfortably leads into turn 1 for Bunty. Darry's got ahead of Brent at turn number 1 as further down the field. Old School's had a good start in the McLaren. He's up a position past Rex and into 7th place down the field. Yeah, spun at turn 1, and down as goes the Haas from 10th on the grid. He's dropped further down the field, so not the start that the Haas driver would have wanted. There was a little bit of contact there into the chicane. I think Rex into the back of Old School, just a little bit into that corner. There's more concertinaing at the back. J-Luke from last on the grid has had a great start. He's up into 12th position, but Tope, crucially for him, good start to this race. He leads. Bunty right behind, and Darry, his teammate, putting another car between himself and Rekurik, which helps obviously Williams and the manufacturers and helps Tope just that little bit more. Old School going for a move on Cam K down the inside, and it's gone straight into the side of Rekurik there. That was an over-ambitious move from Old School. It's gone straight into the side of our championship protagonist Rick. Has Rick potentially picked up any damage from that? If he has, that is horrible for Rick's race as Darry's trying to get past Bunty into the triple chicane. That's not quite happened, but an over-ambitious move from Old School, and it's just gone slamming into the side of the Haas.
I hope not. I hope the coach does not have damage, because otherwise that is a cruel way to lose that championship. But still, there's a long way to go in this race. He could be OP on the strategy compared to Tope, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. Bunty almost got the move into the second DRS chicane from Tope. Unfortunately, couldn't quite make it work. But you can see Tope pulling away with his straight line speed that he has on that setup, trying to break the DRS from the rest of the field. Obviously, Darry had a good start as well. Luke trying to get past Old School now up into 7. I believe Old School has got damage after hitting the back of Rekurik, so he's going to come in into the pit. And we've got Passe in as well, so I think he's picked up damage. J-Luke too. I don't know what happened to J-Luke. Maybe he got caught up in something that we're unsure, but they're going to be probably going on to the medium tyres, trying to stretch those mediums for as long as they can, and then probably if they didn't start on the mediums, go on to softs till the end, as J-Luke and YHYY, well, J-Luke's gone on the softs, YHYY probably go on the mediums, I would expect as well. Darry's already breaking free of Brent, and Darry actually lost DRS to Bunty, which is not ideal because he wants to help his teammate. Brent, no, crucial, will have DRS on the next lap compared to Dari, so he could potentially get a move there, which could help drag Recurric along as well, and Camke and Luke. Luke, as on an alternate strategy, he's doing absolutely phenomenally well in P7, so compared to the other medium runners, he's absolutely flying, but a lot of people had to go into the pitch. Charlie also doing quite as well in 10th position. Out Maverick trying to get past Charlie here. We can see the train growing and growing at the moment. It's going to get very intense. Let us know in the chat, by the way, who you think's going to win the title, Luke, Recurric or Taupe. I don't know which way it's going to go, but it is advantage Taupe right now, but anything can happen from this early point in the race, and Bunty just not able to catch up to Taupe. I think Bunty is catching him up on the corners, not necessarily on the straights.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, does it? It looks like Taupe's got a bit of a better car in a straight line, but it's all spreading out a little bit. Yellow flag in sector 2. That's J-Luke, who's had a spin all on his own at the chicane in the middle part of the lap. So J-Luke's torrid season continues, unfortunately, here in Abu Dhabi. I think he'll just be glad that the season will be finished after tonight. Taupe crosses the line, 39 flat, fastest lap of the race, as you would expect. Immediately beaten by Luke on the medium compound tyres in 7th position. So that tells everything you need to know about Luke at the moment on those tyres. Those mediums looking very, very strong. And the good thing for Luke here, he is well within DRS range of Camke in front. In fact, is very close to the back of Camke and could be thinking about a move on this lap. He has got no threat from Rex behind. Rex is really struggling as Dari's made a mistake at the chicane, and that's going to allow Brent through. But I think, or is Dari maybe actually lagging? Yeah, Dari's lagging by the looks of things on my screen.
Yeah, that's an X on my screen.
That's a shame. Okay, so Dari's connection then playing up a little bit. That's caught Brent out, though, and put Rick right on the back of him. Rick cruising down the inside. Yeah, Brent lost DRS because of that desync there for Dari, which is a real shame for Brent. Really unlucky, and it's gifted Recurric another place. He's up into 4th position in the Haas, but crucially, he's now out of DRS range to Dari in front, so he could get re-overtaken down this straight if Brent's got enough straight line speed, which sadly, for him, I don't think he has, as J. Luke has gone around again at the back of the field. He is out of the session at turn number 3. Is that potentially going to be one of the safety cars we will see tonight? Nothing has been called as of yet. It looks like we might have just gotten away with it, but like I mentioned earlier on, I think J. Luke is just happy that the season's over for him now.
Yes, to be honest, every time we say good things about him, there's always bad luck that comes his way as well. And it is a shame, to be honest, but he's got next season to pretty much recharge his batteries a little bit. Maybe the F122 game will suit him better in at the Wii, but there is a lot of quick drivers, to be honest, as well, and maybe the tracks on the Canada does not suit him, so he is probably relieved, to be honest, as well, because it's not one of his strongest tracks. So that's 4 out of 28 then. I think Dari's now winning DRS for Bunty now, so I think due to the fact that Kurt was caught out, that's allowing Dari to try and get past Bunty, and that will be pretty amazing. I don't think constructors' permutations have been done, unfortunately, so we probably have to do some maths with the constructors, unfortunately, but there's nothing we can't do, as Rex gets past Charlie for P8. Luke's still in P7. He could get the DRS. DRS is activated, remember, but with the slipstream and the DRS train, it may be hard, because a lot of people in front will get the DRS as well, so he's about 3 tenths behind Cam. It's usually enough to get past him anyway. If Cam didn't have DRS, I think Luke would have got past him easily, but that is due to the nature of this train as well. Oh! As Brent spun! I was about to say Brent was going for a move on Recurric, but he's absolutely spun, and he made a right mess of himself, and it's down to 12th place. I know he's still in the points, but Old School could catch up to him sooner or later if Brent's picked up any damage. Luke's just got past Cam into the second DRS chicane there, and he's up into 5th place, and his next rival is Recurric. So I wonder imagine what his pace is going to be like on the softs towards the end of the race, because Luke is absolutely flying. I think he still has the fastest lap, I believe. No, he doesn't now. It belongs to YHYY with a 1:38.5. Also, on the medium compounded tyres, I believe, or was he on the softs? Actually,
on the mediums,
yeah. I will double check, because he did pit, I remember, 4 sets of medium tyres. So I'll check to see if YHYY set his fastest lap on the mediums. Yeah, he did set his fastest lap on the mediums. Wow. Are the mediums the fastest tyre at the moment? I think it would, or maybe the soft tyre runners are struggling to warm up their tyres tonight.
Yeah, I think overheating a lot. Camke now under massive pressure from Charlie, who's also, of course, on the medium compound tyre. He's starting to work his way back through the field. Crucially for Rakurik further up the road, he's just managed to get back within DRS range of Dari, so he is now caught up to that leading trio a little bit. Luke is going to struggle down the back straight to close in, but at least in the final sector, Luke has a lot more pace on those medium compound tyres. Charlie then on the back of Camke. Camke moving to the left-hand side of the road to try and fend it off, but look at the straight line speed of that Ferrari. No contest. Camke kind of has to give up the place before we've even got to the corner. Charlie is up into 6th position, makes the move stick nicely, and the Ferrari up another place. And as we've seen so many times already in his short LOE career, Charlie is very, very strong in the races compared to qualifying. He's working his way through the field quite nicely at this point.
Cam.
Trying to come back at him, yeah, down the inside, but no, backs out of it, doesn't go for the move. Charlie holds 6th position. I think that's smart from Camke. He knows that he's not fast enough to hold that position any longer. He may as well sit behind and try and hope that he can hang on, but you can see that Red Bull is understeering on the way in and oversteering on the way out. Those soft tyres are completely dead. I think Brent's spin just proves that his soft tyres were completely dead as well. He had no grip on his tyres whatsoever, which is why he spun. And next up to pass Camke is Rex and Chill, who of course both on the softs, and they've got Maverick and RJ sitting right behind them as well on their medium compound tyres. Lap number 6 we are coming on to here. Tope crosses the line. First of the leaders into the pit lane is Rakurik at the end of lap 5 then. He's the first of our soft leaders into the pit lane. He's the only one into the pit lane, and an early stop like that suggests to me Rakurik's going aggressive. He's going for a 2-stop.
Yes, and he's going for the undercut as well, so he's going for medium, so I'm strongly suggesting it's going to be soft, medium, medium, because the mediums, well, it's going to be a bit of a push to get to about lap 18, 19 on a set of the mediums to go on to a set of softs in the end, but anything is possible in a way. Rakurik usually proves that at the moment. Will the top 3 respond? Will our challenger contenders respond? Tope has to respond at this moment in time. Always Tope going for the 1-stop. If he's going for the 2-stop, he's got to pit now. If you're going for the 1-stop, maybe stay out for a few more laps. We've got Rex trying to go down his American compatriot into the first DRS chicane, as Rex does get past him as well, but we can see Cam with the slipstream. Cam will have the DRS, so that's probably why Cam let Rex through for the time being as well, but the straight line speed Cam has. Can he keep it down the right-hand side line into the end of sector 2? He does, and Rex does not challenge that, so Cam back up into 6th position as well, but he is struggling on those soft compound tyres, so don't expect him really to pit very, very soon. Probably the same laps of our top 3 at the moment. But what would you do if you're the Williams drivers? Because you're P1 and P3, you pretty much got to prioritise your championship contender more than anything. So whatever Tope does, Dari do the opposite. And Tope decided to stay out, Dari decided to come in.
Yeah, Dari into the pit lane. I wonder if this is an attempt as well to cover off Rakurik, of course, who pit the lap before. Can Dari cover him off, though? That is the key question. How fast has Rakurik's outlap been this time around? Has he done enough to undercut Dari? Of course, he was just about 0.7 of a second behind on the road, was right behind in the DRS queue. So let's ride with Rakurik and see how big that undercut is for the Haas car as he heads down the pit straight and towards turn number 1. Dari only now just coming through the tunnel. You can see him there in the bottom right hand of your screen coming up the tunnel now, and out comes Rakurik ahead of Dari quite comfortably. In fact, I think Dari's just going to potentially be within DRS range of Rakurik, but Rakurik has crucially got the job done and is up and past Dari. That means he's more than likely going to be ahead of Bunty and Tope when they pit. But the fact that Tope and Bunty are stretching this out a little bit longer suggests to me they're potentially going for the 1-stop. If they were going to go for the 2-stop, they should have pitted by now.
Yeah, I'm almost certain Rakurik would be ahead of Tope and Bunty if they pit now. So maybe you've got to change your strategy on the fly, and that's what a good driver does. If you're on a strategy that a 2-stop and then realise that if you pit, you're going to get passed anyway. And if you're good on time management, then yeah, stay out. But Rex does get past Cam again. This time, he probably realised what Cam did on the previous lap and did exactly the same as well. Dari actually gets past Rakurik into the start of sector 3 then. So Dari is back up into 10th position, and that's a good battle that those two will be having as well, which could affect the likes of Tope. I wonder if Dari's trying to hold Rakurik up so Tope can get ahead potentially as well. Tope does stay out. So does Bunty. What about the other soft runners? Will they come in? Rex was thinking about it. He almost did the dummy there. Cam also stayed out. We got Chill that's in. I'm surprised more people didn't come in then. Well, they might be doing the one-stop after all. RJ's not doing the one-stop. He's coming in. He's going on to a set of, I think, another set of the medium tyre. So he's probably doing medium, soft, I reckon, until the end of this race. And he's got a front wing change as well. So that explains why he came in.
Yeah, unfortunate for RJ. What has happened to RJ in the second half of the season? It's just fallen apart for him, hasn't it? He was the early championship favourite when he was racing at the start. He's nowhere near the championship as of tonight, which is a real shame to see. He is into the pit lane and will likely drop behind White into last position. Bunty then still latching onto the back of Taupe. Luke and Charlie both clawing their way up to the two leaders, not as quickly as I initially thought they would, but they are closing back in on Taupe and Bunty at the front of the field. Charlie, though, you've got to say, maybe on those medium tyres, is looking a bit stronger than Luke at this point in the race. He's managed to catch up to Luke, but into his DRS range, and Luke is low on ERS at the same time. So Charlie may be looking just that little bit stronger, just to cap off what's been a terrible race so far for RJ. He's picked up a time penalty. Chill and Maverick are the other two drivers with a time penalty at this point in the race. Maverick down the inside of Rex. Speaking of Maverick, he's got the move done on the Alpine driver. He is up into 5th place on the road, but he has lost so much time. Sat behind Rex and Camke, is US counterparts, of course. He has lost so much time that he is now the best part of 7 seconds behind the two drivers in front of him who are on the identical strategy. So Maverick really losing out in the opening 8 laps of this race. Do Taupe and Bunty come in? Yes, they do. End of lap 8, Taupe and Bunty are into the pit lane then. What for? I would assume a set of medium compound tyres. They could get the medium tyres to the end of the race from here. They're not going to be particularly fast at the end of the race, but it can be done. It just depends on how much time they've lost to Darian Rekurik in the previous laps.
Probably a lot.
Probably a lot, yeah. But one thing to note, Rekurik is all over the back of Dari right now, which suggests to me that Dari's not exactly pushing very hard, and I'm not surprised about that. Taupe and Bunty coming under the bridge of turn number 1. Got a yellow flag. That is Maverick, who's just had a spin, having got that move done. He's spun through turn number 3. Dari then into the net lead of this race. Rekurik in second, but Taupe is not that far behind, considering how much time they've lost. Taupe is not that far behind. Oh, and yeah, Maverick recovering from his spin has just spun again, right in front of Rekurik, and Taupe said thank you very much. He's back past the Haas and up into 5th on the road.
Wow, that is interesting. That could mean, I think, anything in terms of the championship. Now, I will get my notes up because that shows the championship permutations as Taupe almost got past Dari there as well. And I was watching Dari on board during his outlap as well. He wasn't going incredibly fast. What he was doing was doing a Perez. He was going slow, not letting Rekurik pass, doing some great defending, and it was allowing Taupe to be not that far behind, and then he got past Rekurik, and bing, bang, boot. So, to be honest, Dari definitely playing the wingman, and a brilliant wingman at the moment. I don't think Rekurik has the benefit of that for YHYY, unfortunately, because YHYY is down in 15th position, which is a bit of a shame. That could make all the difference as Passe hanging a battle with Alt Maverick at the moment, which is not having the best of times. Still in the points, but I believe he's still yet to pit, unless he's pitted already, not entirely sure, and he's also picked up a penalty as well. So FOL Chai still leads with Luke in 2nd place. Charlie being the lead alternate strategy runner at the moment. And Cam, the only one that stayed out. Speaking of Charlie, he just spun. Now Luke's the alternate strategy runner that's leading at the moment. Cam has surprisingly stayed out. He's going for that one stop and he's committed to it.
Yeah, fully committed to it, and that is our 3rd driver that spun through turn number 3. Turn number 3 really catching these drivers out. By the way, look at Dari. Look at what he is doing. He is backing up Rekurik and Bunty heavily here. Taupe is 2.5 seconds up the road in a lap. This is beautiful team play here from Dari. However, I do fear that he's going to get swamped here down this straight. Rekurik is right up behind
Maverick's
him.
Out.
Yeah, Maverick has crashed. Maverick has crashed at turn number 3, so another spin for the Red Bull man. He is off the road. Amazingly, it looks like we're not going to get a safety car. So safety car's not wanting to come out tonight. As look at this, 3 wide into the chicane. Down they go, and it's going to be Bunty getting past Rekurik down the inside. Rekurik's going to have to try and switch back him at the end of the chicane, but can't quite do so. And now here comes Dari trying to come back at the Haas down the 2nd straight. Rekurik, for him, he's crucially got to get past Bunty here if he wants any shot at chasing down Taupe as they run down to the triple chicane. Around the outside goes Rekurik, late on the brakes. He's got the move done, but that one lap, those 2 laps after the pit stop, and that 1 lap after Taupe's pit stop where Rekurik was stuck behind IRT Dari, Taupe has disappeared up the road. While that is, of course, Rekurik will be furious at what's happened, that is brilliant team play there from Dari.
I have to say, I think Dari knew what his strategic play was during this race as well, because there's also the constructor to think about as well. So Rekurik is in 5th position, so Taupe must finish third to win the championship as it stands, and even if Luke wins the race, Luke cannot win the championship. So at the moment, there's a straight fight between McCurrick and Tope would win the title as it stands, but don't forget Luke and Charlie and Cam still yet to pit. So Tope, at this moment in time, is still leading. He's catching up to the back of Cam. Someone else has spun. That's Charlie again. He's got a damaged front wing there. Oh, what a shame. After a solid season from Charlie, to be fair, it'll be a shame to end this way as well. And I wonder if he's going to retire in the pit, as both Dari, Bunty and McCurrick have got past him. I think this could be another fight between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo, two Ferrari-powered cars, as Tope goes past Cam there. Cam did not fight that because Cam is on old sauce, whereas Tope is on fresh mediums. McCurrick has been passed by Bunty again, which is not good news for McCurrick's side of things as well. Brent has just got past Charlie to end to his woes. I've watched yellow flag set to 2. Yep, it is Charlie. Oh no, it's Dari. Dari spun.
Wow. Dari, yeah. The other Williams then dropping the car out of chicane. Didn't see if there was any contact, but I don't think there was. So, yeah, Dari, after what was a great start to the race, he's played his team play, and now he's spun down towards the back of the field, which is a real shame. And, of course, we don't know how that's going to feature into the Manufacturers' Championship, of course, as it stands. As it stands at the moment, Williams do lead, but they've only got a 12-point lead in the Manufacturers as it stands. So it's still very, very close, as Charlie is just letting people through, of course, without that front wing. He is keeping well off the racing line and letting drivers through at the moment then. So McCurrick down another position then. Bunty is up into a net second place in this race, but Tope just continues to drive away at the front of the field. A 37.8. That is a brilliant lap from the Williams man. He is then fastest man on the track. It's a 10.5-second gap to Luke in the lead. Luke is still going on his medium compound tyres. I think Luke is probably going for the one-stop strategy here. He can pit probably around lap 17, lap 18 for a set of softs to get them to the end of the race. Problem is that Tope possibly could catch him by then and could be a pit stop behind anyway. Luke, though, the only one on that alternate strategy that's managed to last. Every other driver that started on the medium compound tyres has spun at some point in this race. As Bunty's gone off the road at the hairpin trying to get past Kamke around the outside. I think Kamke here is just going to have to concede the positions, but that's given opportunity for McCurrick potentially to come back at the Alfa Romeo down the back straight, but McCurrick's just not got enough straight line speed to get close enough to the Alfa Romeo in the braking zone, and will stay behind Bunty for the time being. Gets very close into the braking zone, just not quite close enough. And this is bizarre from McCurrick, isn't it? We've said all season long, we've said it tonight multiple times, McCurrick has been so strong in the races that it doesn't matter where he qualifies. He's coming up to the back of Bunty into the triple chicane, but again, not close enough. The braking zone is not long enough for him to go for the move. We've said it all season long, McCurrick has been so strong in the races that he doesn't need to have a good qualifying to have a good race. But today, race pace-wise, he isn't a match at the moment for Tope. Tope is just driving off into the distance.
I would like to see Tope and McCurrick's fastest laps to compare them. 1:37.8 for Tope, 1:38.5 for McCurrick, so almost a second quicker Tope is per lap on McCurrick. So that's how much he is gaining, which is not good news for McCurrick in the slightest. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get ahead of Tope in this race as well, but he probably has to play the long game potentially, or maybe do the opposite to what Tope does, as Cam goes into the pits. Now, he's definitely going for the one-stop. Memes from here will get to the end quite comfortably as well, and if it works for him, then fair play. If it does not, then at least he's tried and kept him on the straight and narrow as well. Passe will be the one to watch out for as well, who's been on his meetings for 10 laps. He spun, old school spun as well. They'll be pitting a little bit later on, since those meetings will not get to the end as well. McCurrick still around about 8 tenths behind Bunty as the sun is beginning to set here at Yas Marina Circuit. The track temperature's getting quite difficult for these drivers to manage, and it's quite cold, as McCurrick did not get past Bunty yet, but he's going to get the DRS on the back straight coming up soon, so I think that's what he wanted right now. He's in it with a decent gap to try and get past, but he's running out of verds as well, as Darius spun again. Charlie's out of the race. That is a safety car. That is, wow, that is good news for Luke, but not good news because he started on the mediums. Yeah, he's either going to have to go on hard or try and get softs 13, 14 laps, which it can happen under safety car conditions, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
what would you do?
If you're Luke, surely you go for softs. Surely you've just got to try something. He's obviously already on the back foot championship-wise coming into this race. Surely you just try something different and hope it works out in your favour. He's into the pit lane then, as you would expect. What does... Yeah, it's going to be softs for Luke. I'm not surprised by that. He's got to try something different. He can't hope and bay on the same strategy as the likes of Topa Rakurik. He doesn't have the pace. Rakurik is also in. That is very interesting. Rakurik from fourth on the road is in. Brent's in as well. Darry's in. Chill, I think, is in as well. No, Chill stays out, actually. Rex stays out as well. Passe, you would imagine, is going to be coming into the pit lane off of his tyres. Yes, he does so, and Old School will probably follow him in. But... now, this is very interesting. Taupe leads this race from Bunty. Those two, of course, the two drivers that were going for the original one-stop. Luke now third on the road on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. Now, they are going to be fairly slow by the end of the race, but his initial pace will be very, very strong. Chill and Rex fourth and fifth, and then it's Rakurik in sixth position on a set of medium compound tyres, a fresh set. So... from what was looking like it could have been a fairly easy victory tonight for Taupe, he was looking so strong. Strategy-wise, he is now on the back foot now. He's massively on the back foot compared to his championship rivals.
Yeah, because Rakurik doesn't have to stop again. Neither does Brent, neither does Darry, neither does Luke as well, unless there's another safety car. So, if this championship couldn't get any crazy enough, well, welcome to LOE Division 3, folks, because, to be honest, I think this is going to go down to the wire between Taupe, Rakurik, and Luke as well. So, basically, I think Taupe will need to be fifth, and I think Rakurik needs to be fifth and sixth, same with Taupe, for Luke to have a chance. Luke needs to win. Luke needs to win this race to even stand a chance of winning the title. Actually, no, he needs to get a P2, actually, as well. Rakurik does not score points, and Taupe finishes in P9. So as it stands, so Taupe's leading, so Taupe would win the title, and Luke is currently in third. So I don't know what that would do in terms of second and third place. I think Rakurik will still get second, but you never know with the gaps we have here as well. We've got halfway races in at the moment, 14 laps to go until the end of Season 7 for Division 3. Some stand-up performances tonight, but I've got a feel for Cam. He's tried out the one-stop strategy. Unfortunately, if he pitted just a lap later, he would have been on the best strategy possible, but, you know, you can't predict safety cars, unfortunately, and he's got the bad luck there. But he doesn't have to pit again. Luckily, the safety cars pretty much saved him. Same with Rakurik as well. He's on the same strategy as him, so... but Rakurik is a faster driver as well. Some people are also lucky. Passe as well, who started on the mediums. He had to go onto the hard sides. RJ is on the softs as well. He's going to be quite slow at the end. YHYY is on a good strat. Old School has saved his bacon as well. And it only takes one retirement, and then everyone else will score points in this race. So that's a little bit of motivation there as well. But Taupe's looking favourite at the moment, but watch out for Luke at the start. It's only a 6/10 difference though, so if Taupe is consistently quick on the medium tyres, it probably won't matter.
Yeah, potentially it won't matter, like you say. Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting end to this race. 13 laps to go when we cross the line. The safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Everybody has now caught the safety car. Can Luke make those softs last 13 laps? That is the crucial thing for his race, of course. He has to win this race, like you say. He can finish second, but that requires Taupe and Rakurik having absolute horror shows from here on out. And knowing how their seasons have gone, that is going to be very unlikely. So Luke, if he stands any plausible chance of winning this championship, he has to win and hope that it goes wrong for Taupe and Rakurik in this race. So, yeah, going to be really interesting to see how Luke manages this safety car restart. He's surely got to get past Bunty and Taupe as quickly as he feasibly can, try and get up the road, and then hope that he can hold on to the end of the race. Rakurik, you've got to say Rakurik right now is on the best strategy, fresh medium compound tyres that will easily get to the end of the race. He is theoretically on the best strategy. However, he's in a pretty rough position at the moment in P6 as Darry and Passe have decided they want to overtake each other under the safety car. Rakurik here in a very good position in 6th, but he's on the back foot, and we've already seen tonight Rakurik has really struggled to make overtake stick tonight.
Yep, he has. His race pace has not been strong at all compared to the other drivers in this league at the moment. Even Rex is quicker than him on in terms of pace tonight. Even, I think, trying to see who else is quick. Bunty as well, to name a few. YHYY. No, YHYY was a bit slower, but I think a few people are quicker as well. Rex as well has had a strong showing as well, but he again will be on the back foot, being on the older tyres, the same strategy as Taupe as well. So Taupe's going to hope that nothing bad happens to him, because if Taupe crashes, well, that's Rakurik's championship, unless Luke wins. So he's got a lot of work to do. So we'll see then. Tope, when's he going to go?
When's he going to go? He's going to go right now, just before the final corner. Tope has gone for the safety car restart, but Bunty has followed him quite nicely out of the final corner. They come then down the pit straight onto lap 16 of this race. How quickly can Luke get up and past the two drivers in front, if he can at all? Is anybody else going for a move? Old School's got the move done on Passe at turn number 1. That's not a surprise, considering Passe is on the hard compound tyres. Those tyres are not going to be sticking to the road at all around a circuit like this, and Whitehall immediately again onto the back of the Aston Martin, trying to find a way through at the chicane, but isn't quite close enough. Luke then onto the back of Bunty, coming out the hairpin. Bunty a little bit onto the curb. Luke's got a brilliant run. Chill as well is under big pressure here from Rex down the back straight. That's cut to Luke though. Look at the straight line speed of that Aston Martin. Without DRS, he breezes past Bunty like Bunty's not there. Uses a bit of ERS in the process as well, but Luke crucially past Bunty already. Rex now late on the brakes down the inside of Chill at the chicane. Chill's going to try and hold it down the inside for the second part. They make a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but they get away with it. They still run side by side down the second straight. Can Recurrent capitalise on this? He's on the back of them. Is he going to try and make it 3 wide into the triple chicane? He's thinking about
Surely
it
not.
Around the outside, but yeah, backs out of the move before they get there. Chill around the outside. Can he hold it through the triple chicane? This is going to be very sketchy from the two of them. Chill's going to try and switch back him into the next corner. And he's into the side of Rex's car. That was inevitable from the moment he decided to go for it. Someone is in the wall there as well. I think that was Brent and Camke that have ended up in the wall on the outside of the corner trying to avoid that incident. Brent's gone off the road again down there for some reason. I don't know if he's made contact potentially with YHYY, but Camke and Brent were off the road trying to avoid the incident, and they were putting each other in the wall, and that has put Old School now all of a sudden up into 7th place. Wow. And Passe right behind in 8th on the hard. So they've capitalised on that little excursion. Lovely for them. Recurric is up into 5th. Rex is an easy target for him. The problem now for Recurric is that he is already 3 seconds off the back of Bunty. That whole mess there between Chill and Rex has put Recurric way off this lead battle. Speaking of lead battles, look at Luke. He is all over the back of Tope trying to get the move for the lead.
Yes, and Recurric is currently, where is he? He's 5th at the moment, so it's still Recurric versus Tope for the title, but Luke may spoil the party with that. Here he goes then. Luke to the left-hand side on this first DRS straight. I'm surprised he went for a move there, because Tope's going to have the DRS going into the second DRS straight, but Luke's got the lead of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. All he's got to do now is save his tyre wear, and look at that, he's already pulling away, and Tope does not have the DRS needed. Oh no, DRS is not activated yet, scrap that. I didn't do my mouse correctly there, but yeah, Luke did a brilliant job there to try and get past, and he's already pulling away due to the delta, the pace advantage at the moment, but Tope will come back at the end, as Bunty not being able to catch up as we would have liked as well. Let's see what any other battles we have on track. We have RJ trying to get past Passe. Passe doing a great job. No penalties to his name so far on the hards, but you can see the hards are around about 2 seconds slower than the soft, so it's going to be obvious that RJ could try and go past down the inside potentially as well, as YHYY as down into 11th spot now, but at least he can still get points at the moment. It looks like Williams will win the Constructors potentially as well, as Luke sets fast up again. He's almost out of DRS range of Tope, which is a bonus, but Tope's just got it back again.
Yeah, it's kind of fluctuating at the moment, isn't it? Luke is really trying to break the gap to Tope and trying to break away from this Williams driver. It's going to be crucial after this chicane what the gap is. Has Luke been able to break it? Can he pull away a bit further in the latter half of this lap? Through the detection point goes Luke. Tope is out of DRS range, so Luke has broken that gap to Tope. That is crucial for Luke's race. Bunty's well within DRS range of Tope. Does Bunty decide to fight Tope here for second place on the road? And if so, that will drop them further back from the race leader. Down the back straight they go then. Bunty just not close enough to think about a move this time around. Further back though, Recurric breezing past Rex down the straight. He's up into 4th place, this Recurric, but yet again, Recurric is on the back foot here. He's 3 seconds behind Bunty now. He is on the back foot in this championship. Tope, as it stands, would still win the championship. Recurric needs to get up to 3rd position. If they get up to 3rd position, by the way, and it finishes like this, Tope and Recurric would finish level on points, and it would go to count back on wins. That's how close this championship has been. So if Recurric can get past Bunty and finish 3rd, we have to think about how many wins these drivers have had this season, and if they've had the same amount of wins, we have to think about how many second places they've had. So that is how close this
second, the same, third, fourth,
exactly.
etc.
All the way down until we find a gap between the two of them, and they've been so consistent all season long that I feel like it might be difficult to spot that. So yeah, that would be very interesting. I think
McCurrick's got the most wins. I think so. Takes anyone once, I believe.
Yeah, at this point in the championship, just having a look myself, yeah, Rekurik does have 2 wins to his name with the 1 for Taupe. So if it were to finish with Rekurik in third, Taupe second and Luke first, then it would be championship to Rekurik on countback of wins. However, Rekurik's just picked up the fastest lap of the race, so he wouldn't need the countback because he's got the extra point for the fastest lap. This is going to be so close at the end of this race. As it stands right now, it is in Taupe's favour, but on this lap alone, Rekurik is taking chunks out of Bunty in front. The gap was 3.3 when he got past Rex. It's already down to 1.9. Rekurik on those fresher mediums is absolutely flying.
What is going on? His pace on the mediums was absolutely rubbish. And his first medium stint, so maybe something's clicked for him. Maybe he's getting used to the track a bit more, I don't know, or maybe he's doing a lot better with his tyre life. He's doing absolutely amazing as Rex has been passed by both Old School and Darry there for 5th and 6th place. That could be quite amazing if Old School finishes in 5th, because that could be a battle for 10th or even 9th place in the championship, so that will be great to see at the moment. Fast lap does belong to Brent now, with a 1:36.7, so that's changed the hands again in this championship. I know, it has gone incredibly crazy at the moment as well. That could get intense. Now, Rekurik has done a bit of pushing. Now, it's got to a stage that, has he pushed too early? Has he pushed too early with the tyre temperatures fluctuating like that? Or is he going to have chance to save his tyre life? That's going to be the most crucial for him, because that he hasn't been that best in terms of tyre management, but he's been pretty much scoring more points as Darry has left the session. Not really that surprised as Darry has hit the wall. His AI has hit the wall there.
Wow.
How's he still in the race? And safety car.
Wow. Okay, well that is bizarre. Darry AIing out of the race and then his AI car crashing at the penultimate corner has brought out the second safety car of this race, and that closes this field right back up once again. Now what do these drivers do in terms of strategy? Chill was the only person that was at the entrance of the pit lane when the safety car came out, so Chill is into the pits for a set of softs, as you would expect, and a front wing change, so that saves Chill just that little bit in this race. Surely now, with the pace that Luke had immediately on those softs, you've got to be in for a fresh set of soft compound tyres if you're anybody in this field, really, haven't you? You've got to say, at least from Rex down, drivers are going to be in for the soft compound tyre, but I would not be shocked if we see pretty much everybody in this field come in for the softs, and then it would be a straight fight as to who wins this race. So, yeah, this is throwing another spanner in the works, and in the most bizarre of ways, it has, completely thrown this race up in the air. And for Luke, I know at the moment, as it stands in terms of positioning, he's not winning the championship. But of course, like we've said, he needs to win this race to stand any chance of winning this championship. This safety car could have just saved him again, because now, really, he doesn't have to worry about tyre wear anymore. He could come in for another set of soft compound tyres and be absolutely fine to the end of the race. So that at least takes one bit of jeopardy out of his race. He's just got to hope that it goes wrong for Taupe and Rekurik behind him. But as it stands so far, that has not been the case. They're just coming round to the penultimate few corners on the lap, but if you're any of these drivers in the field, surely you've got to come in for a fresh set of softs.
It's a bit of a risky decision if I were you, to either pit for softs or stay on mediums, because what would you want? Would you want track position, or would you want fresh tyres? As Luke comes in then. Luke comes in, Taupe stays out. Now, Bunty stays out as well, Rekurik's in. The only person that hasn't come in are our top two. Now, it is a track where it's hard to overtake, but with everyone else on the soft, surely you're going to get absolutely swamped. Surely that is advantage for Rekurik at this moment in time. Why has stayed out, which I'm, to be honest, not that surprised about. Is this going to be the first chance in this race for him to play wingman to his teammate Rekurik? He's got to now, at this moment in time. I can't wait for this as well. It saved the safety car for Luke and Rekurik, to be honest. Not helped Taupe, pretty much, unfortunately. And Harry's just put in the chat, also known as Larkin. It's going to be a very interesting finish now. I have to say, Harry, I completely agree with that. I literally don't know who's going to come out on top right now. You never know. At the start of the race, we saw people tyre temperatures struggle, even on 4 lap old softs. It's got to be who manages those tyre temperatures, really. It's not really about the tyre wear, it's about the tyre temperatures.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, it's about the temperatures more than the wear at this point in the race. There's only going to be, I think, about 6 laps to go when we restart this race, so they're not going to be worried about percentage wear on these tyres. I'm worried here for Tope and Bunty. I think they've definitely made a mistake. We've seen a couple of times already in this race, the power of the undercut is very strong. At the previous safety car restart, people on medium tyres that were only 5 laps younger than other drivers' mediums were soaring their way back through the field. I mean, Recuric's pace on a fresher set of mediums was so much stronger than the leaders just a couple of laps into the stint. So I worry that because we've got 21 corners around this track that are all very demanding on the tyres, Tope and Bunty here, surely they're just going to be sitting ducks for these drivers on soft compound tyres behind. It all depends now on whether Luke can get past YHY, Bunty and Tope quickly enough, and then how far does Tope fall down the order, if at all? And can Recurric get up to the front of the field, of course? There are so many things to think about when it comes to this championship, but on the face of it right now, Recurric just has to follow Luke through the field here, and Recurric surely has won this championship.
Yeah, indeed. I think Mick needs to finish 6th for Luke to win the championship, and Luke's 5th. So I think Recurric just needs to follow Luke at this stage as well, and Recurric will finish 2nd, and Recurric will win the title. I feel so bad for Tope and Bunty, because Tope's been so consistent, and imagine if he would lose the title on this. I think we saw something similar, obviously, in real life with Lewis staying on the mediums and Max going onto the soft tyres. We know how that turned out. But at least they had more laps this time to bear with. They had more laps to just get their tyres up to temperature and actually start getting involved in some battles as well. Time penalties could change battles as well, and well, you'll get points if you stay in this race, so please do not retire, lads, if you're still in this race.
Yeah, please do not. You get everybody up for points now, like you say, in this race, and yeah, it's just turned this race completely on its head then. So the safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap. We'll have 6 laps to go when we cross the line the next time around. 6 laps to decide this D3 season. It's Tope on track that leads the way, but as you can see from the tyres, 12-lap-old mediums, they've not pitted since lap 9 in this race, was the last time Tope and Bunty have pitted in this race. YHY stayed out after his pit stop from the first safety car that came out, and then everybody below that, 4th all the way down to last place in 12th, have all pitted for a fresh set of soft compound tyres. So it's going to get very, very interesting in this restart. Can drivers keep it clean as well? That's going to be the crucial thing. Can they keep their noses clean? Can they keep it penalty free as well? There's a lot of things that a lot of drivers are going to have to look at in this final part of this race. So yeah, going to be very, very interesting. Tope as well, second time he's going to have to time a restart here. Does he go at the same time as he did the previous time? Does he go earlier? Does he go later? It's up to him really. He's backing off now. Safety car's in this lap. I'm super excited for the end of this race because I haven't got a clue how this is going to turn out. It could go any one of which ways. Recurric and Tope could have a terrible final part of this race, and Luke could win the championship.
Oh, God, no.
Tope could somehow hold on, or Recurric could slice his way through the field and win this championship. It could go one of any 3 ways.
I think all 3 still have a shot at this moment in time. I think no one is completely out of it. That's how crazy Abu Dhabi is. And I did say at the beginning of the race we could have loads of safety cars. Well, I wasn't wrong. And that just shows reduced on any Formula 1 game. I think Codemasters should change the irregularity of reduced in terms of safety cars, because to be honest, it's too many around some tracks, unless Monaco where you don't get any at all. So Tope then, like as Aiden said, is Tope going to go the same time? He goes slightly earlier. He goes slightly earlier than before, and does that help him? That helps him a little bit. But Bunty's already on the back of him as well. This could be huge as well. Look at this. Luke already passed YHYY. And is YHYY going to let Recurric through? Yes, he does, because obviously the fresher grip. And someone's spun. That's YHYY. Front wing damage. And I think he's going to go in the pits and probably go on to a set of soft potentially as well. But I'm surprised there was no safety car there. But Emily Tope still holding on to the like of Bunty. Luke now on the back of this. No DRS, remember, until lap 26.
Yeah, no DRS like you say, but look at Luke. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. Luke, just like the last safety car restart, Luke is immediately past Bunty down that first straight. That Aston Martin is very fast in a straight line. He has got some good straight line speed in that car, and he's up and past the Alfa Romeo straight away. And look at the grip he's got in the traction zone out of the chicane. Can he get the move done on Tope down towards the triple chicane? He's using his ERS down the straight. Is he close enough to go for a move here? He's going to have to go to the outside. Tope defends the inside line, but Luke doesn't need a second invitation around the outside.
Wow.
So late on the brakes, but he's just got so much more grip, and Luke is straight back into the lead of this race. Those soft compound tires have helped him beautifully. He is now surely just going to disappear off into the distance and give himself the best opportunity he can to win this race and this championship. Rekurik is again right on the back of Bunty now for third place on the road. He's just got to time his overtakes. As it stands, Tope would win the championship, but Tope is on the back foot on those old medium compound tyres. Rekurik only needs to pass Bunty and he's got the championship. So this is all he needs to do. He just needs to find his way past the Alfa Romeo. He doesn't need to win this race. He just needs to finish in third behind Tope, who if Tope finishes in second, the championship will be the Haas drivers. But it is so close in this trade behind. And look at that. Luke immediately 1.1 seconds up the road. He's gone.
He is gone. He does what he's doing, what he needs to do to win the championship. But there's still Rekurik and Tope that's still in this race. And yeah, I think Luke will be absolutely delighted to end his championship on a high note, even though he'll probably only finish in third, I believe. As all Rekurik's hit the back of Bunty there as well. This could be position. Surely it's going to be position game. If he gains his position, he's in championship contention. Someone has spun. That is chill. That is chill on the exit turn 7. So that really has ended his hopes on getting a good result as Rekurik trying to go down the inside into the chicane. And he does it and gets past Bunty then. So Rekurik at the moment, he's very, very close actually. Rekurik will win the title as it is. But I think obviously, would it be tied at this point?
It would be. On points, it would be tied as it stands, as Bunty sending it down the inside, trying to hold the position against Old School, but Old School's going to force him completely off the road there through the triple chicane. They remain side by side. Bunty holds the place, but he got a 3-second time penalty and all of that as well. Old School's going to try and now go round the outside through this triple right-hander pretty much, and he does so. That is just the power of the softs, and Bunty, too late on the brake, slams into the back of the McLaren and misses the corner. That is the effect of not having stopped at that safety car restart. They really should have stopped if they wanted any chance. Bunty, after looking like he could have been on the podium all the way through this race, has dropped right to the back of the field along with his teammates. So what a shame. What a sad way for Bunty to end his season. DRS is enabled. 4 laps to go. Luke has a 2-second lead, but crucially for Rekurik, he is right up behind Tope in second position. If Rekurik can get this move done, there is nothing Tope can do. Championship would be over. Rekurik's championship, it would be, as it stands, it still is at the moment, on count back of points. But
Bunty's out.
Yeah, he's retired in the pits. He's retired in the pits. That is such a shame for Bunty. What a sad way to end the season. But that is the mistake he made when he decided not to pit at that safety car restart. On board with the Rekurik, though, look at the traction he can get compared to the Williams down the back straight. He's not using all that much. He doesn't need to. He's got the DRS. He may wait for the second straight. We'll wait and see. But down this first straight, yeah, he's just lifting off a little bit down the straight. He's going to wait for the second straight to get the move done on Tope here then. So he'll go around, hopefully, the long way around. Rex going round the outside of Old School down into the chicane. Gets the move done. Lovely. That is a brilliant move on Old School. Cam K and RJ fighting side by side as well. But further up, here comes Rekurik in the DRS zone of his championship rival Tope. He's going to go round the outside. Can Tope do anything to hold on? No, he can't. Rekurik is up into second place. That is all he needs to do to win this championship. The top 3 in the championship are top 3 on the road, as you would expect. Not in the right order, but as it stands, it's Rekurik's championship to lose.
Yep, it is. If he's got to not mess up now. He's got to keep his tyre temps under control. And look at that. He's already within 1.7 seconds of Rekurik. It's Old School spun. Oh, no, Luke's out.
Oh, no. Wow.
Safety car. Oh,
unbelievable.
My goodness.
We just missed it. We were all just getting ready to talk about Old School spin. And from a comfortable lead and the final, potentially a win in the final race of the season, Luke has crashed out. Luke has crashed out of the race, and with the timing of the safety car, I don't know if they missed it or not, but Tope has potentially missed the pit lane again and has not come in. Into the pits comes Brent Old School and Chill. That has saved Old School's bacon again, that safety car with that spin. That will bring him back onto the pack again. It will bring White Show Eye into play as well, if he can get there, that is. I think the safety car would be in at the end of lap 27. We'd get one lap of racing left. Where have we seen that before? Where have we seen that before in Abu Dhabi, where there's one lap of racing left?
God.
It's all happening, isn't it? Blimey, it's all happening tonight.
And it's the same scenario.
Exactly the same.
Mediums, he's in second in the championship. McCurrick's on softs. He's in the lead of the championship. Last year, Hamilton was on mediums. He was in second. Verstappen was leading the championship. He was on softs.
Yeah, it's all playing out, isn't it? Blimey, it's all playing out in the way that it feels almost scripted at this point. It's absolutely bizarre. White Show Eye decided to come into the pit lane for some reason on that lap, which means he is definitely not going to be catching the safety car next time around, unfortunately. But he'll still score points for that 10th place. What a shame, though, for Luke as well. What could have been a comfortable win at the final round of the season. It wouldn't have gotten him anything in the championship, but it still would have been a great way to cap off what has been a strong season for Luke. It's not happened. He's retired at the final race of the season. A word on him. He's had a great season, hasn't he, Luke? But just kind of sums it up, really, doesn't it, this race? It's looked so promising for Luke all season long. He's just not had that extra 1% to really fight for the title.
Well, I think that... I don't know what that does with the constructors now, because Tope's in P2, Passe's in P6.
Is Passe... I don't think Passe, there's a reserve driver for the final two rounds of the season.
J. Cole said that Passe will be scoring for Aston Martin tonight.
There we go. So if that is the case, if he is scoring for Aston Martin, Passe has to beat Tope on the road and score 12 more points than him. So, I mean, it's all still possible. This race has been so up and down that anything could still happen in this race, but Passe needs to outscore Tope by more than 12 points to win this Manufacturers' Championship for Aston Martin. That is Passe's goal for the end of this race. He's currently 6th. Tope is 2nd on very old medium compound tyres. The only problem for Passe, there is 1 lap to go as Old School picks up a time penalty behind the safety car. So to cap off what's been a bit of a shame of a race for him, it was looking so promising after that second safety car, and then it pretty much immediately fell apart after that battle with Rex. So he's now down in 8th with a time penalty to his name. I don't know where to look next. I don't know which way it's going to go. No. I think it's safe to say, barring anything absolutely chaotic happening, the championship here is Rick's. He has got a massive tyre advantage over Tope. He's got 1 lap left in this race. There's not enough time, really, for drivers to make all these moves done. It's now just a case of how far down the field does Tope drop on these mediums? Can he hold on for a lap to 2nd position? Or will he lose a podium to the likes of Rex and Kamke? Kamke, by the way, in 4th somehow in this race. I don't know where Kamke has come from in this race.
Yeah, he had bad luck at the first safety. I think in the first safety car he had bad luck, but the other safety cars, he just had good luck or something. So
yeah. He's kind of somehow snuck through the carnage, as he always does, and Kamke here is staring at potentially his first and only podium of the season. If he can cross the line in the top 3 here, we'll wait and see what he can do.
Top 9. It will definitely be top 9 in the championship now.
Yeah, definitely for him it will be, like you say. So, yeah, this is going to be very intriguing, but 1 lap to go in this race. Final safety car period. By the way, White Show Eye definitely hasn't caught the safety car. He's coming down the first pit straight, so that pit stop he made a lap ago has cost him big time at the opportunity of picking up points on people that had penalties in front of him. So that pit stop for the other Haas driver was definitely a mistake for him. So here comes Rekurik through this final sector, keeping it very, very slow. He can dictate when he decides to go for the safety car restart. Does he go early? Does he go late? Either way, Tope behind us at a massive tyre disadvantage, so it's not going to be like Tope is going to be swarming all over the back of that Haas car. As the Haas comes through turn number 19, he's keeping it very, very slow and leisurely through this final sector. The safety car is now in the pit lane, so Rekurik can go whenever he decides to, and he's gone now, just before the penultimate corner. He is underway. Tope not able to react as you would expect. Around the final corner they come for the penultimate time. 1 lap to go in this race, and immediately Rex is on side by side with Tope coming down towards turn number 1. Can he go all the way around the outside? No, he can't. There's not enough space, but he's going to try and switch back up towards turn 2. Tope almost spins the car, but Rex finds the gap and is up into 2nd position. Tope is down to 3rd, and that just compounds what has been a miserable second half of this race for Tope. The strategy's not worked in his favour. He's decided to stay on those medium tyres this whole time. It's not worked for him. He is now going to plummet down the order on those old tyres. RJ thinking about a dive on Kamke, and Kamke slams the door in his face, holding on to that 4th place position at the moment. Rekurik, though, is driving off in the lead of this race. Nothing Rex can do. He's not close enough to challenge for the lead of this race. Down the back straight. Who is that looking at a move? Old School looking for a move on Brent down towards the chicane. Is he going to go for the outside line? Yes, he is. Can he outbrake the AlphaTauri down the outside? He can, but he almost slams straight into the back of the Aston Martin and breaks his front wing. Has to back out of it, and that's going to allow Chill to get a run around the outside and up towards the next chicane. Kamke on the back of Tope for the final spot on the podium. Can Kamke get his first podium of the season? He's going to think about it. He's not close enough into the braking zone. He'll stay behind, but he's still got this final sector to try and find a gap on the Williams van.
Jesus!
But that was a bit of contact. RJ into the back of Kamke there. Kamke getting very sideways through the triple chicane and nearly losing the car. However, we will cut to the Haasman in the lead of this race. For the first half of this race, this championship looked like it was going to be Tope's. The safety cars have completely changed the face of this race. The one driver that has come out of it unscathed is Rekurik. He's had an incredible season, and he is going to become a double LOE champion around the final corner. Rekurik wins the final race in Abu Dhabi and is the Division 3 champion for Season 7. What a season for Rekurik. That is another title to add to his Season 5 D2 title as well. Absolutely brilliant. For Season 4, sorry. What a performance from Rekurik. Rex picks up a podium in the final race of the season as well, which means that he will move into 6th in the championship as his final finishing result. What could have been such an incredible championship run for Tope in this final race completely fell by the wayside, all because he decided to stay on the mediums when everybody else went to the soft compound tyres. It was Tope's championship for the first half of the race. For the second half of the race, it was Rekurik's. Rekurik held on. What a season for the Haas driver, and he's picked up his second championship in LOE.
Well, sometimes you need to have the luck and the skill. Rekurik looked very weak towards the start of the race. Towards the end of the race, he was absolutely flying, even on the means as well. So, doing a great job there as well. A shame for Tope there, but I'm sure Tope can hold his head held high going into the season none. But at least Tope has got one thing to celebrate, because Passe hasn't outscored him. Williams are your Constructors champions for D3 in LOE this season. So, congratulations to Williams.
Yeah, congratulations, like you say, to them. They pick up the manufacturer, so that is at least some consolation from this race. Williams have been a really strong pairing all season long. Darry as well today, shout out to him. He did all he could to try and help Tope win this championship. It just didn't work out in the end with the safety cars at the end of this race, and it is Rekurik that picks up the title. Rex finishes in second position ahead of Tope. Kamke doesn't quite get that final podium, but he does get his best result of the season in fourth. Passe in fifth on his second race back. He'll be happy with that to wrap off what's been an up and down season for him. RJ in sixth. What a great first half to the season. The second half, not really been able to perform as well as he wanted to. It's Brent ahead of Old School. Chill, White Hawaii is your last finisher in 10th, and then it's Luke and Bunty 11th and 12th. Darry, Charlie, Maverick and J. Luke are the other retirements as well. That was a race of attrition. The first half of the race was fairly calm and fairly standard. The second half of the race was anything but that, but what a performance from Rekurik, and hopefully we can get the champion into the commentary box. I think we'll just talk to the champion today by the looks of things. It's getting pretty close to the start time of D2 and D5, but we of course want to chat to Rekurik after that race, so we'll hopefully just talk to our championship winner today. But yeah, what a crazy way to end the season. I think D3 this season has been so up and down, so all over the place. And I think that final race just proves it, doesn't it? It was unpredictable all the way through, and it's Rekurik that comes out on top.
It's like the real life gods wanting to replicate what happened in the real life race. It's crazy, apart from different tyres, not going to lie as well. But for those of you that want to update on D1 and D4's championship situations, we've got Just Stats that won the title for D1, and Resify that's won the title in D4 after being in P3 in the championship. So I think something must have happened between P1 and P2 in that championship in D4. So well done to Resify, well done to Just Stats, and well done to Rekurik, who's actually in the party now. Hello, Rekurik.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Rekurik. Well, first things first, congratulations. What a crazy way to end the season, but that is your second LOE title after, of course, your Division 2 championship in Season 4. Initial reactions, how are you feeling after that race?
Oh, thank you, and I don't know, I don't have words. It was looking like after qualifying, Tope had such a good pace, I couldn't match it. And then I tried the undercut. I was stuck behind Darry, and he just went on further away. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's done. Safety cars helped. We had a Michael Massey moment, which I'm happy about.
Oh, you had to say that, didn't you?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant performance from yourself. Talk us through a little bit that second half of that race, of course. I'm sure you were aware of what the championship permutations were. You didn't need to win the race to win the title. So I guess the second half of that race with all the safety cars was just about keeping it clean and making sure that you stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. The second safety car, I was talking with why should I pit and take the gamble? And I was looking right behind me. I think it was Old School and Rex. And I know how aggressive they want to be in the last laps. So I knew they're going to pit. And then there was like 3-4 guys. So I took the gamble to go on softs and didn't lose any track position. And then I knew Luke obviously went to softs. He wasn't a factor if I just keep it clean. And I knew Taupe's mediums were done already. So I just needed to keep it clean. And then the last safety car just added some more excitement.
Yeah, definitely did, didn't it? Add a little bit more jeopardy to your race, but you held on in a brilliant way. It's been an amazing season for you. I'll cut to you, Jess, in a second. Just one last question for me, Rakurik. What is your highlight of the season? What's been the favourite moment for you?
This race has to be this race.
Yes.
Nice and easy. There you go. That is the way you want to cap off a championship, isn't it? With a win at the final round of the season. Jess, anything you'd like to ask to our champion?
Well, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the F1 22 game, our brand new season of LOE. 1, are you going to be racing in LOE next season? And 2, what are your expectations? Because I presume you'll probably be in D2 next season. What are your hopes? Are you just aiming for consistent points in the races, knowing that you'll be in a higher division, or do you want to aim higher next season?
Most likely just being in D2, and we'll be racing. I don't know. We'll see how if I do the preseason races and see how my pace is. But most likely just fight for some decent points. I'm not expecting any wins or podiums. Just looking to have fun.
Brilliant. That's my question, Aidan.
That is perfect, and that is how we're going to wrap up this Division 3 season. Rakurik, thank you so much for joining us in this party, and congratulations on what has been an incredible season from yourself. What a performance, and what a way to cap off a crazy season as well. Thank you as well to Jess. What a crazy season it's been commentary-wise. We've been in and out on D3 every week. It's been a fairly up and down crazy season for you, Jess. Before we finish off, what's been your highlight this season?
Oh, I don't know. I think Hungary, was a highlight as well with the crazy strategies, and it's got to be this race as well. It's definitely got to be this race. How crazy that championship finale was as well, and it's been absolutely amazing. And well, you still got it all to do in D2. Carl Mentalist is still in the championship fight, so make sure you go and cheer him on tonight at 8:10 for Division 2. It will be great if he could take the title. So best of luck to you, mate, and I'll let you go and do your final lap of practice before the actual race. So best of luck and give him a cheer, everybody.
Got to get everything in, a little bit of self-promotion as well. But thank you so much, Jess, for joining me in the commentary box this season. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully it can be the same again next season. Of course, like Jess just mentioned, Division 2 and Division 5 will be taking place about 15 minutes time, so you can jump onto the LOE YouTube channel and watch those. You can go back and watch this crazy race, and you can go back and watch the title deciders for Divisions 1 and 4 as well. They all took place at the same time as us, so you can go back and watch those races, and we'll see what happened to those. I'm sure they were very interesting races as well. But for myself and Jess and our champion Rakurik, thank you so much for joining us all season long, and we will see you for season 8 on F1 22. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good night.